Hey guys, welcome to Rosie's Dessert Spot. Today we'll be creating this fairy unicorn style cake. You'll need some rice paper wings, so I've just taken regular rice paper that you'd use to make Vietnamese rolls, dunked it into clear water for a good 10 to 15 seconds, and then going to shape it onto some baking paper. I'm going to flare out one side and then pinch the other side to create kind of like a V-ish kind of shape. And then I'll plant another one on top and connect the two at the pinched section. There's our first wing. I'm going to take some regular just water and gel food color or liquid food color if you like, and just paint in abundance over the top. This will end up having like a bit of a watercolor effect as the different colors blend together on the on the rice paper. And it'll just all absorb and we'll dry them out in the oven. Do the same again for the other side. I like to put them onto the same baking sheet. That way I can gauge for how well they're matching in shape and size. Go over again with the colored water and then pop it onto a cookie sheet, something flat, and stick them in the oven at 100 degrees Celsius for a good hour or so, or until they're completely dry. I'm going to take a 6-inch and a 4-inch cake, cover them with a crumb coat, trapping the crumbs. This cake was an old one that I just removed the decoration from, and I'm just recoating it. I get asked a lot what I do with all my cakes, and I usually reuse them in this way. Pop it into the fridge to set once you've cleaned up the sides and you've dragged the lipper frosting to the middle, and repeat again with your top tier. Once they're nice and firm from the freezer, after about 20 minutes or so, you can apply the final layer of frosting. Smooth it out, fill in any pockets as you go. And then again, just dragging that lipper frosting towards the middle. The bottom tier is in the fridge resting again for 20 minutes. The top tier that I'm working on right now will go into the freezer instead for 20 minutes. Add bubble tea straws in a triangular formation into your bottom tier. This will be there to support the weight of the top tier. And I've made sure to cut them flush with the very top of the cake. You could also use wooden dowels or really thick pipes that I used here. You can find those at most cake decorating shops as well. Stick your top tier on top with a bit of buttercream, and then I'm taking the wings and I'm just pressing them into the side of the cake. Wherever they mark, I'll take a knife and I'll make a really deep indent. That way they slot in without having to use a lot of pressure and potentially breaking the wing. From there you can pipe a little bit along the border just to really secure them on there, but I find mine stuck okay. So in goes the second wing, and they're about 1/3 of the diameter of the cake away from each other. I hope that makes sense. Basically, there's a lot more space at the front of the cake than there is at the back of the cake where they meet. Take some white fondant, roll it out, and then cut out some circles. I cut it into like a cat's eye shape by just trimming off a little extra from the side there. And I just placed one on top of the other to make sure that they were the same size. For the irises, I've taken a really big piping tip and I just cut out some circles, stuck it all together with a bit of water, and then doing the same again for the pupil using a smaller piping tip again. For the little catch lights, you can just take some white fondant, roll it in the palm of your hand to create little balls, and then stick it with water, give it a good little press to flatten them out. I like to add one on top and one on the bottom, positioned diagonally from each other. For the hair, take some fondant, roll it into a log, and make sure that one side is thinner so it's a bit coned. Hold onto it as you twist the log, and that'll create like a little loop right at the base. You can shape it into like a C shape at the top, press it down flat with a book if you don't have any fondant smoothers. Books will do too, just so that it's easier to position on the cake and it won't roll around. For the ears, create a deep cat's eye, cut it down the middle, and then create a smaller cat's eye again, cut it down the middle in a yellow color. That way when you stick it together, it's slightly smaller than the previous triangle. You can pinch the ends together to shape it into the ears, and then for the horns we're creating really thick cones, holding them together and just twisting to create that unicorn horn sort of effect. If you wanted to, you could stick them together with a little bit of water, but once they twist and dry, they will not come undone. For the eyelashes and the top eyeline, I've just taken a bit of black fondant, rolled it really, really thin with the help of my fondant smoother, just to make sure that it's the same thickness all the way across, and then cut it down to size around your eyes. Stick them to the top of the cake with a little bit of water at the back, and then just kind of arrange them how you like. I wanted them to be turned in slightly, and then with a bit of water, I will attach the eyeline with a little extra eyelash. Make sure that the eyeline's got a little bit of a kick at the end to kind of make it look like there's an eyelash there already. And then attach the hair. You could do this as well with just a little bit of water to help it to stick. And because we flattened it out with our fondant smoother, it's just a lot easier to position as well. You can stick your horn on with water, or you could put a skewer through it and skewer it through the cake. Totally up to you. Continue adding the hair and then place whatever you like at the bottom of the cake. You could go with maybe some flowers. I've created little acrylic letters, and I've started with the middle letter and worked my way outwards. That way I know it's going to be in the true center of the cake. And that's it. This is a really fun, really easy way to do a unicorn cake without a lot of detail, but still pretty effective. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and give it a go. If you do, hashtag rosiesdessertspot so I can check it out. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you again in the next one.